I'm what I did, Monica, is I just took your screen and I put the white. I selected it so that you're in the forefront now, and there I am. And now I put you for me so that when we're broadcasting, you're the person out there. But Monica, the first thing I want to ask is I want to make sure that I pronounce your name correctly. So everybody who's watching this can watch me pronounce it incorrectly. But hopefully we'll get us ready for pronouncing it correctly. So let's see if I can say this correctly. Monica, obviously. Sue, don't hold on. Suecio de Alvarez? De Alvarez?
It's Sulesio.
Sulesio. Okay, gotcha. Sulesio. Monica Sulesio de Alvarez. Very good. And is Sulesio de Alvarez your full last name?
No. Well,
okay.
Sulesio is my father's last name.
Okay.
And Alvarez is my husband's last name.
Very good.
Okay. And we use the preposition de in the middle to represent that I'm married.
Oh, I did not know that. And don't tell us where you're from, but is that common where you're from to have the de in there? Of
course.
When you're married? Okay.
And it's a struggle with feminists because de means off. And it shows like property. And there's people, thinking, why don't they also use the off and use my last name after theirs?
Yes.
But it's how it's been, and we like it. I mean, it shows respect, and it shows that it's a married woman. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, I guess it's somewhat similar to what we have here. Like when I chose to take my husband's last name, you know.
Yeah, but then your family name disappears.
It does, but I kept mine. So I have my father's name as my middle name, and then I took my husband's name. But yeah, the family name disappears, which is even, more egregious because in most common marriages. But I think, and then you have Iceland, where I think even, am I correct in even saying that even when you get married, your last name is daughter of or son of whoever your father is?
Mm-hmm.
And then in India, like my cousins, the husband and wife, none of them have the same last name, because it's always that your last name is actually your father's first name. So it gets very confusing.
It does. Well, if there are no prepositions, I feel it's more difficult to figure out.
Yeah.
But when you have the hints of the prepositions, then you can tell, well, this is the family of, the daughter of, right, the husband, etc.
Yeah.
So that's.
Oh, good. I wanted to see that. So I have questions come up. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay. All right. I'm playing with some of the tools out here. It looks like it's interesting. The live is still like the old Google Hangout, whereas the other Google Hangout is kind of newer, but we still have some of the same features that you had in the old Google Hangout. Like I have my toolbar on the left-hand side. That's interesting. Okay. So I think that means, I wonder, can I try something?
Sure.
Just real quick. I want to see if I can try my Google effects and you can see. Can you see me? See, what you used to be able to do on the old one, on the old Google Hangouts, but you can't anymore,
And they brought it with the new, yeah, that's cool.
But anyway, can celebrate Dr. Seuss. Okay. All right. I was just curious. That's interesting. So that still works. All right. So I was thinking on Thursday, I'll just introduce you, and the class will introduce themselves briefly. Just say who they are, and maybe if they are a teacher, they can say what grade they teach. If they're not a teacher and want to be an instructional designer, they can tell you, what they're doing now or what they would like to do. So just briefly, so you know who your students are, because I think it's a small enough class that, they could say who they are, and it might help you feel a little more comfortable with who they are.
Sure. Yes, I want to know a little bit more about them.
Okay. And
what's the name of the course? And what's their major?
Okay. The name of the course is Online Tools and Strategies for Learner-Centered Classrooms. So the people taking this course are either classroom teachers that teach in the schools, or they're people who want to be instructional designers. So they're learning to use the various tools that are on an LMS or CMS.
Nice.
So they've done things like talked about how to use discussion boards well, as opposed to just use discussion boards. How to make tests that are more learner-centered versus just multiple choice tests, but not thinking about how they can be helpful. They made a web quest. Right now they're creating a real world lesson. And so I think that's what they're doing now. Is that what they're doing now? Or is that the other class? I get my classes mixed up. So I have to think, hold on. I have to look at what they're doing now. Man, what's their assignment this week? You're their assignment this week. Oh, what they're doing right now is they're looking at the ways that you can use global collaboration and how you can collaborate on the internet. So that's part of the reason that I wanted to bring you in, is that I wanted them to see that, yeah, when you engage with somebody someplace else, it makes you more engaged in geography and culture. So I'm hoping that the students feel that, because hopefully after they figure out where you are, they can ask you questions, if you're okay with that, about what you do. Maybe what students are like in your country, what schools are like in your country, but just questions that they might not be able to get elsewhere. Or maybe they'll have a question like, what is the main struggle that teenagers have in your country these days? They may ask questions like that too. Or they may ask, what is college life like in your country? It could be anything.
Sure.
If you're okay with that.
Sure.
Okay.
I like them to be curious.
Okay.
About my country and other things that are related to culture, right? That a culture that they don't know.
Yeah. So I think that would be good. So, and then my guess is it will probably be at least a half hour. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Half hour time? Okay. Yeah, but I think it will be fun. So I thank you so much for doing this with us.
Curiosity and fun are both words that need to be in the curriculum.
Well said. Well said. I agree. Curiosity and fun. By the way, I did go to see the movie last week.
Yes.
And I was actually, it turned out that I was one of the panelists on the after the movie. So that was neat. There was a big turnout. There was probably almost 100 people, I think, in that room. And that's pretty surprising for something like that. So, I mean, it was publicized, I think, rather well. There were students there. Some of my graduate students came and they really enjoyed it, those that came. And I think some of them got them angry, as you can imagine, I think, because what they have to do in the schools with all the testing, you know? And so it makes them, you know, the one student was like, you know, I know this is the way that it should be. It should be. And yet there's so much testing. And so the teachers are very frustrated. Yeah. So I think overall it was good. And I think we will be looking to show it hopefully next year at the university. So that's nice. I thought they were going to do it in May at another local school, but it seems that they're having some political concerns there, just because they have to lay off some teachers, and that's really hard. And so it's really not a good time to show something like that. So
Definitely not.
So I think
how long is the documentary?
an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. So
but I imagine it gives a lot of opportunity for discussion, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And the book is very good, but it really, really comes down very hard on our current education system. And the book, I'm reading the book right now as well. It slams the current education system. Like, you know, even Charles's book, Reinventing Schools, you know, he's a little more gentle. He doesn't slam it. Okay, they slam it.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the evolution and revolution thing.
Yeah.
You need that impact for revolution. And then, you know, the mild things to start progressing into an evolution.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do need to move the floor for the people to start moving, actually.
Yeah, because the gentle nudges, I think, you know, the testing has gotten so bad. Right now, they're doing PSSA tests. It's a standardized testing. And in the elementary school, not the high school, elementary school, there is a state representative that will come and check to make sure that the school is doing the test correctly. That's kind of like a testing police, and we'll come around and look at the school. And I'm like, we're paying this person a salary and that's their job? They have to monitor. Kids are not allowed to talk to each other when they go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Is that crazy?
It's a test. It's a test.
And children, when they finish the test, if they finish before the time is up, they are not allowed to draw. They're only allowed to read a book. No drawing. So even though we're in third grade, no drawing.
Yes, of course. No pens. They don't want anything where they can bring or write the questions, I imagine.
Yeah. Or they just don't want them doing anything. Distracting. These poor children and teachers. And they have, 2 weeks of it?
Yeah. And then the thing about teaching to the test, because 2 stressful weeks, but the stress started long before when they were preparing for the test.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sure a question will arise, although we're not going to bring it up here. I don't want you to answer it. There might be a question about how is that in your country? Is it similar or not? It will be interesting, to have you share. I have no idea because we haven't really talked about education where you're from. So I will be very interested in the students' questions to you because we haven't had that time to talk, So I'm looking forward to it because I get to learn too.
Well, I know little about the educational system because it has changed a lot.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm not very much into it.
Okay.
I do some other things. I work higher ed and then corporate a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm not very much familiar with the standard tests that are being practiced.
Okay.
Because that started, I think, 5 or 7 years ago. I don't really have an idea how old are they? But it's recent. That's not how it has been. For example, when I studied, we didn't have any standard tests.
Okay. Okay. Well,
But
that's
I think, yeah, it's the approach, right? Because I don't think that just the issue is whether it's good or bad, but it's teaching to the test
yeah.
and not having the test really be like a radiography and X-ray of how much knowledge, if you can say it, a certain group of students have, right?
Right.
If they engage in very creative and learner-centered activities, they will get the content anyway. And then it should be kind of simple for them to take a test that just asks for simple things. So it's not really preparing for the test, but learning in a meaningful way, enjoying what they're doing, working on their projects, and then content will be assimilated naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And then proving that you know something should be something simple. That's how I envision it. But because I haven't had any experience at all, perhaps, I've never done a standard test before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in school, and I haven't been part of the testing either.
Yeah, we will see what winds up happening. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know. All right. I just realized that it's almost 9 o'clock, and I may lose you soon. So I think we are probably ought to sign off. But that will give people things to think about between now and Thursday. So that was wonderful. So thank you. I will send you the link again, but now I know the correct link to send to you. Does that work?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Okay. Very good. And then we'll go from there. All right.
Good. So I'll see you again on Thursday, and
Excellent.
your students as well.
Excellent.
Okay. Have a nice evening. Take care.
Thanks, you too, Monica. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.